Hi everyone, can you see my screen all right?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so hello, my name is Bela Georgiev. I am a fourth year PhD economics candidate at Toronto Metropolitan University. It's a pleasure to share one of my chapters from my PhD dissertation with you all today. Many thanks to the analysts at the Toronto RDC for their support with this project. So in Canada's north, Indigenous individuals rely on a mixed food system. So, particularly, the economic climate is associated with higher retail food prices and also higher rates of food insecurity. So, to kind of give you some insight, in 2022, I found that grocery prices were roughly $800 to $1,200 higher per month for households. And also, household food insecurities 13 percentage points higher than compared to the rest of the provinces. And this is driven by high transportation costs and limited infrastructure. A lot of these communities in Canada's north are remote, which means that they are not accessible year round by road, rail, or marine modes of transportation. So there's this other culturally and nutritionally significant type of food, which are country foods. And they're obtained by hunting, fishing, and trapping. And in order to obtain these foods, the individuals need to harvest them. And this requires significant costs in the form of time, skill, and costly equipment and fuel. Just to give you a sense of how expensive it could be in order to harvest, a paper found that the annual hunting outfit in a remote community in Nunavut was over $55,000. So in 2011, the federal government introduced this food subsidy program called Nutrition North Canada. So what this was meant to do was to help effectively lower the price of some nutritious and perishable set of retail foods. However, it's been suggested that when we decrease the price of retail foods, it leads to store food being preferred to country foods, relatively so since it is now cheaper. And this could result in a reduction in traditional harvesting. And the issue with that is that in order to participate in this activity, there needs to be some skills and abilities that are passed from generation to generation. So this could lead to some generational cultural erosion. So it led me to ask the following question. Do these Nutrition North Canada subsidies reduce country food harvesting in Canada's north? And in order to help answer this question, I rely on the Indigenous Peoples Survey from 2001 to 2022. So the IPS is a repeated cross-sectional survey that collects information on the economic and social characteristics for the three recognized Indigenous identities in Canada. So it's First Nations, but off reserve, Métis, and Inuit individuals. The outcome I consider is an indicator that captures whether or not the individual hunted, fished, or trapped in the previous year. And the method I utilize is a difference in differences with subgroup analysis. So I'm trying to understand if there was any changes more present across different demographic groups. So I find that in terms of those set of communities that receive this Nutrition North Canada program, it was associated with a 14 to 17 percentage point decline in harvesting participation. And these effects are more so concentrated among women, older adults, smaller households, and those with lower levels of education. So I say that this could be consistent with substitution at the margin. So perhaps those individuals that have tighter constraints in terms of financial or time or skill, they might be more likelier to, instead of participating in this costly activity, instead purchase the relatively cheaper retail foods. But of course, a decline in participation for harvesting is not a one-to-one decline in country food consumption. So instead, remaining harvesters may intensify effort, and these foods are shared within the communities. So the policy implication here is that retail food subsidies may unintentionally reduce harvesting participation, and this could lead to generational cultural erosion over time, something that is permanent and cannot be so what I believe is quite interesting about this paper is that we can study harvesting behavioral responses following policy changes for Indigenous individuals in Canada's North. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, if there are any questions, you can put them in the question and answer tool or in the chat.